Hello,
Hi
another
there.
week, another webinar, and today I've got a very valuable guest. Dr. Baris is today with us. Baris, thank you very much. When we started this Growth Spotlight series, I would like to have guests from different sectors, different industries, and you will be the representative of the events industry in these such difficult times. That's why
My,
I'm looking.
my pleasure. My pleasure.
I'm looking forward to for having some questions about the current situation and of course for the future. Uh, I'm waiting attendees. In the meantime, I will share
Mhm.
my screen and we have got lots of things to talk. That's why I would like to dig to the content directly.
Mhm.
Okay, before we start, can you describe who is Baris, what kind of background he is having, and also
Mhm.
your current company, the Tarsus Group. Can we get to know you and your company a little bit?
Of course, I've been working in the B2B event sector for over 15 years now, and I have, it's a weird thing to say, but nobody plans a career in B2B events. You just stumble upon it. Yeah, you just find yourself as part of that industry. So that was the same for me. And now I'm currently working for Tarsus Group as the Chief Commercial Officer. What that means is I'm responsible for all organic growth. This means sales and marketing best practice and general strategy of our products, how we go to market, and how we go about growing them. So it's very, let's say, engaging in large remit. So I'm working with all of our managing directors around the world. Tarsus Group has about 180 B2B events around the world in nearly 20 countries. We serve more than 20 industries. We're about 1,000 people around the world. So it's a global player. We're based out of London. That's where I normally am, not now. So this I've been here for 6 months now. So 3 of those spent in normal times and 3 in the COVID period. So it's a very interesting, has been a bumpy start. Prior to that, I was working for another events or global events organizer called Hive Group, again, for 7 years in London. So they are of a similar size with the current company, and I used to be the global marketing director for that group. And before that, I was working in Istanbul, Turkey, where I'm originally from. I used to still work for a B2B media company that did exhibitions, events, and lots of periodicals, magazines on the construction and architecture sectors. So I've always been in B2B media, and since the past nearly 10 years on a global scale.
It's such an honor to have you in this spotlight because you have got a very in-depth experience in the B2B events, and you were all around all the marketing, management, technology sides. And yeah, you are in the new company for 6 months, half of the normal days, half of the new normal days. That's why I'm really
Yeah, the
looking
new normal.
forward to my questions today.
Yeah,
And
we really hope the new normal isn't the new normal. Yeah, we don't like the new normal.
all right. Okay, a little bit information about me for the attendees and for the ones who are gonna watch later. I'm the founder of MBT. MBT is a growth marketing agency based in London. We have been working with most of the time the B2B brands and most of the time scale-ups. And with these webinars, we are trying to have guests from different industries, and we are trying to extract their growth experience and know-how from different verticals. After this event, if you want to watch it again, or for the ones who will catch it in the YouTube or in our Grow Marketing Hub platform, and for our upcoming events, you can check them out from our Grow Marketing Hub platform, the events section. Okay, Baris, when I started to work on the questions, I would like to try to make an agenda that will cover both the ones who are in different industries, but using events is a marketing channel. Also, the ones who are already in the events industry and facing these challenging and interesting times. That's why in the first part, I would like to address most of the scope questions about the events industry and of course the change after the COVID. Then I would like to get your insights about how B2B companies can utilize the B2B events. And in the last part, I will try to cover all the growth stages or all the funnel stages of how companies in the B2B events sector should create their marketing mix. We can start with the like the scope of the event industry, because when I spoke with you in the when we met and when you speak about the numbers, they really fascinate me, because I thought that why I didn't check the numbers before, because events seems like that let's say in a declining phase in the everyone's head, but when you look at the numbers, it is increasing. It was increasing at least. That's why. Can you define the scope of this event industry? Maybe some numbers about the market size, and also when we say events industry, what are the subcategories there?
Of course. So let's start by defining what is an event. Yeah, an event is something that's time limited. So there's an access issue with it. Yeah, it's live. Yeah, and it's mostly face to face, and that cover everything from entertainment events to sporting events to B2B events. But we are focusing only on B2B events. I'm going to draw the, let's say, argument towards that. The B2B events industry, which is exhibitions, conferences, and B2B also buyer meetings, different types of business exchange, face-to-face meetings between buyers and sellers. Yeah. And the size of this industry is around $90 billion US, which is paid directly to organizers. Yeah, and then if you add all the collateral money being spent on other stuff around events like hotel stays and this and that, it amounts up to nearly $150 billion US per year. So it's a really, really sizable industry, and completely under the radar. People don't think about it. Yeah, if you but recently, it's been more in the spotlight, and there has been a growth, let's say investment for lots of different parties. The reason for that is the events industry is the B2B events industry is a very, very important, let's say, milestone in the overall marketing mix of B2B brands. For B2C, it's a different world. But if you're a B2B player, let's say you manufacture automotive components, yeah, or let's say you manufacture some industrial parts, yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot go and advertise on Facebook to sell your stuff. You can try, but most probably not going to yield results, yeah. So you have to find a way, your channel to market. And for all B2B industries, face-to-face is the #1 channel. So we are, all the B2B media companies in London are listed, if they're listed, under the media section of index, yeah? So they're media companies. Our medium is face-to-face. So we are mostly marketing companies. We help people market their products. So that's what we do. And again, global statistics, it's a very, the industry is not consolidated at all. Mm-hmm. Even the largest player has less than 5% market share. So it's a very scattered industry. If you look at it, there are like around 32,000 exhibitions every year in the world. And if I'm not mistaken, the biggest player has less than 1,000. Just to give you an idea, yeah. And we cater for around 300 million visitors, business visitors per year. Yeah, so that's really, when you try to put that into perspective, that's a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
Around 5 million exhibitors, and the industry creates 1.3 million jobs. So it's a very sizable, let's say, industry on its own. The reason why people really don't recognize it that way is because you attend, let's say you're in a B2B brand, you attend a show, you know the show you go to, and maybe 2 other competitors.
Yeah.
But there are portfolio companies behind those shows that do hundreds of them, like us. So you don't think that way, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and let's talk about, because we're talking marketers, I guess. I've always advocated the view that, moreover, you care about the show brand that you engage with, whatever show it is. Yeah, let's say it's a marketing show, let's say Marketing 2020, let's say whatever that is. Yeah, so you engage with that. You don't really care who organizes that show. Yeah, you care about the show itself. So therefore, the business side of the exhibitions industry as a whole is invisible to you. Just like if I would ask you, Eren, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
It can be Vanilla Sky. Vanilla Sky, I think. It's the
Vanilla Sky. Okay, great, fantastic. Who was it produced by?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't care.
Yeah.
So that's
exactly.
Thing, yeah?
Exactly.
But you know who starred in it, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
You know it was Tom Cruise, yeah. But you don't care if it was Universal of Pacific or whatever it was, yeah. You really don't care.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Same thing here. So therefore, the face of of companies like us is through our products, not the group corporate brand sitting behind those products. So therefore, most of the big event companies are invisible to their even their own customers. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember that when we first met, and you mentioned about your company, but you directly say that they are now in the stock market, their stock prices, because it's like we don't know who is behind these scenes, but when you hear the numbers, also for the Tarsus group as well, when you hear the numbers, then you understand the size, and it's really interesting about the size, and it is still not consolidated. And I believe that there are, like, in the growth of these industries are much more like acquisition style, because it is like we have got different type of regions, different type of sizes, lots of conferences, exhibitions. Yeah, I feel like that.
Let me comment on that. Yes, you're right. The industry is very, very highly acquisitive. The reason for that is exhibitions come about from inside their own sector, not from corporate companies like us. They generally start with a few friends in sector X, whatever it is. They say, okay, we need this type of an event. They launch it on their own. For a few years, they make no money, and then they start making some money. Then 10 years later, they're a sizable event. That's when companies like us come in, because we are professional organizers of events like this. We do hundreds of them per year. So that's the value we bring. But the foresight about the need for an event generally comes from within the industry itself. So therefore, there are always new events being launched every year around the world. So that's why this industry is still very not consolidated and cannot be. But acquisitions are a very big vehicle in the growth of companies like us.
Yeah, I ask this question because the audience of MBT content is most of them are from the startup world, and in startup world, the exit in terms of the entrepreneur is the ultimate goal. And
we make lots of people millionaires. Let's put it that way.
That was my point, but you got it. Yeah. All right. Let's move to the that I'm sure that you heard these questions, like, I don't know, hundreds of times, but I had to ask it. After the COVID-19, there are like a couple of industries, but the first thing that comes in mind is the events industry. And how do you see the future in terms of, will there be any phases like the response, recovery, and there are different sizes within this sector, like there are startups, there are enterprise level, like Tarsus Group. And it's a hard question, but what do you recommend to them to like respond in these difficult times?
Yeah, the thing is, you're right. Our industry has been one of the worst affected industries, along with travel, because what happened is it was for a while legally illegal to host exhibitions. Yeah, countries banned meetings above certain levels. So we had shows sold out for thousands of people to come in, all of them postponed. So we were really badly hit. All of our competitors and peers in the industry are going through really, really tough times. But now that the tail of recovery is not homogeneous around the world. Yeah, everything to the east is already starting to recover. We have shows in China opening actually tomorrow. There have been really, really big shows in Shenzhen 2 weeks ago, and their visitor numbers are up, not even down. Yeah, so China is past COVID. China is in the new normal. Yeah, you wear a face mask, you get a temperature check, you distance a bit, but you carry on as normal. So it's back. So that's the story. In Turkey, where I am right now, and we are going to be hopefully opening our exhibitions in September, the first week of September. It looks and on the track, and I've just looked at some numbers. The visitor registrations are okay actually. So in some countries who have had the power to restrict the movements and let's say freedoms of their populations for a concentrated amount of time, they won. Yeah, look at New Zealand; they don't have COVID anymore. Yeah, but some countries, more to the west now, that have not restricted movement, that have not taken big measures or not policed those measures, the situation is not that good. Like the UK, like the US, and now Latin America as well. So those places are entering their peak period still. Not the UK, the peak's over, but let's say the US and all of the Americas, bar Canada, are entering their, let's say, ugly phase slowly. So our projections, because our projections in the US and Mexico are not stellar, let's put it that way. So we might need to postpone a bit more, but we are hopeful about China, we're hopeful about Turkey, we're hopeful about the other places, the Southeast Asia, that have done a good job in controlling this outbreak, to come back. Now, if you look at this from a perspective of company size, it's really hard for the small companies. It is really hard because they will have cash flow problems, yeah? Because what happens to your shows, you postpone it. You don't want to cancel your show. Nobody wants to cancel the show. People want to come to your show. People want to do business, yeah? So you postpone your show, but when you do that, if you're a big company, if you can leverage debt, if you have access to capital markets like we do, you can do this. But if you don't, but if you're small and you need that money to pay your rent, if you're a 2-3 people person company, you're in very deep trouble because your income is literally zero. Yeah. So for those companies, it's a very, very tough game out there. And we believe that the number of exhibitions will take a very big hit in 2020 because some will go out of business, unfortunately.
I'll get a follow-up question about it because the thing is now, I feel like this strategy of these B2B event sector is they are looking the numbers and for example, China is already seems over it. Then, as you said, with the new normal, they can deliver some new exhibitions or conferences. But also, is there any other form that will the B2B events, how to deliver a B2B event will change? Is it possible to have like pure digital experience, or for events, is it hard to make it digital?
Yeah, the thing is, we're working on making sure that all of our shows have an enhanced digital attendance capacity, but we don't want to decouple it from our shows. We don't want to go fully virtual, but we want to go hybrid, absolutely, and we're working on it because we see that COVID is over in China, but international travel still hasn't started. So therefore, most of our shows, most of our big businesses, our international shows, they need international exhibitors and visitors. Yeah. So we see that that part of the equation will not be back for a while. Yeah. So we are setting up enhanced digital, let's say, offerings for people to have the opportunity to participate in some capacity to our shows from where they are, if they cannot travel. Domestically, we would like them to come, absolutely. But if international, we are allowing for digital participation through advanced matchmaking, through video calling, through advanced product categories, and this and that. So we've come up with something we call Digital Live, and we are making sure that all of our top shows have this capacity.
Yeah, for it makes so much sense, this hybrid approach, because I'm thinking that yeah, when you will go to a conference or exhibition in another country, now you have got lots of things to consider, but when it's online, I'm sure that the experience will not be the same. We cannot say that the experience will be like face to face, but this hybrid thing, I think, might be a strong value proposition for the, because
absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, please.
No, the thing is, you're right, because what face-to-face delivers is it delivers trust, it delivers complex decision-making, it delivers collaboration, yeah? Yeah. So you can, when you're face-to-face, sit around the table and solve a complex problem, or convey complex messages, yeah? Or build trust. These things, or do things with more than 2 people, yeah? You can have a 10 people meeting face-to-face. None of this is available in video calling, yeah? Yeah. We've all been crazy video calling each other for the last 3 months, and I'm sure you can agree that more than 2 people on the call is not a call. because the technology compounds all the sound into one stream.
Yeah.
It's not like being in the same room. In the same room, you can hear more than one person speak. On the VC, you cannot. So it's like a full duplex phone line versus walkie-talkies. Yeah.
Exactly.
It is very slow. Anyway, so therefore we believe we are in the face-to-face industry. Yeah. So we're not going to abandon that and become a virtual player, but we are going to allow for virtual participation to our shows, to the real shows that we do somewhere in the world.
Great. By the way, I will pass this question I will proceed with the next one, but I would like to tell the attendees that if you have got any questions, you can put it to Q&A section. After I finish my questions at the end, I will also ask them to the Baris. And yeah, now I would like to talk about this B2B events industry and their. When I think about B2B events, first of all, also in MBT, we are working with most of B2B companies, and nearly all of them utilize at least 1 or 2 events in their marketing mix. That's why we know that for B2B companies, it's a very important channel. That's why, first of all, I would like you to talk about how brands can utilize B2B events in their marketing mix. Any good case studies you have within your career and also if you have got any numbers or sure, if you have any comparisons about the channels between B2B events and other channels. welcome.
Yeah. All right. So the thing is, what we touched upon earlier, in B2B world, most of the stuff you're selling generally is not off the shelf. Yeah. You're generally selling a complex product. You're generally selling a service. You're generally selling a bespoke product. Yeah. You're selling a solution. Yeah. It's not like it's a consumer world. In consumer world, you're selling something that's already packaged. So when what you're selling is complex, it requires a connection to the buyer, which is more direct, which will require request for proposal, which will require specs, which will require solutionizing. Yeah, you want to meet your client face to face, right? Forget about an event. Yeah, let's say there are no events in the world. Do you want to sit in a room with your clients and seal the deal, or do you want to call them? Yeah, of course you want to be in a room. Yeah, and what this channel does is that it gives an ability to connect to a certain number of buyers in a certain number of ways that will give you an incredible return on investment on your time and your money spent. So that's the crux of the equation. Yeah. When you attend an exhibition, if it's or a conference or whatever, if it's well organized, if the buyers are there, if you know how to exhibit, you will get business from that meeting. Yeah, and you will, if you compare it, if it's a good international big show, if you meet people from 5, 6 different countries, there's no other way of meeting them. Yeah, but the exhibition. So therefore, in your marketing mix for any type of B2B product or solution supplier, I would urge you to really think about what your geographical target is and find an event that is, but do your homework. Make sure you attend the right events to meet those buyers. So that's what we do. But having organized hundreds and hundreds of events over the years, I've seen lots of use cases in which the exhibitor doesn't know how to exhibit. Yeah, going to a show is just the beginning of your journey. You have to work, yeah, to really get the right buyer to your stand, to your product. So for that, there are lots of wins and lots of things to learn from, like simple stuff. You have to be proactive. You have to do your own marketing about the show, because what happens is as this is a inflection point, lots of buyers are there, yeah, but they have their own agenda. If they don't know about you, they won't come and find you, yeah. So you have to make sure that that buyer comes to you. You have to work at it. It's not like fire and forget. Yeah, I attended the show, I'm going to get 20 buyers. Doesn't work that way. So I have seen lots of instances in which 2 stands next to each other. One of them sends flowers to our office after the show. They're so happy. The other one writes a complaint letter because one built a stand that was a fortress with walls. The other had an open stand and had real trained staff and talked to people. Yeah. So it's about having let's say understanding of how to be successful at live face-to-face events. If you have a sales team which is very introvert, don't try. It's not going to work. You need extrovert people who will go and talk to people. Yeah. So it's about making sure that it's for you, first of all, that you can do this for your products. Doing your homework, making sure that those buyers are going to come, and then really being prepared for that 2 or 3 days, because you're putting a big investment in. Yeah, when you put a big investment in, you have to go the extra mile to make sure that you sweat the assets.
Exactly. I can confirm you from the agency side, because from the successful companies that I've seen within MBT is, first of all, they are not in a trap of events versus digital marketing, because it is irrelevant. It is not like they are going event and cutting the digital marketing budget or vice versa. They are positioning digital marketing as an enhanced engagement for the events. And what we see is before they go to events, they started to create content. They started to collaborate with the potential. Within the event, they create content. They speak about event, and after the event, they send follow-up emails. They send follow-up marketing collateral. That's why if they behave like that, they digital marketing efforts and event marketing efforts, then it really makes much more sense and it is much more effective. But the ones that, as you told, if they think that okay, they will buy one booth and the sales will like go up, that's not the story. It's like it's a part of the story. But yeah, if they are investing, they should be investing wisely and they should be thinking more in an integrated approach. Okay, now as a chief commercial officer of a B2B event giant, you are responsible for the marketing as well. And in your previous roles, you were all the time responsible for the market activities. I would like to divide my questions about marketing into three, because most of the time, according to the funnel, the priorities, the channels are different. First of all, let's start from the top of the funnel. What type of tactics and channels do you recommend for the brands, but at this time for the brands who are in the B2B events industry, for the brands like Tarsus Group, and for the brand awareness and traffic generation, the channels, the tactics, any insight?
Yeah, the thing is, it really depends on how mature your event is. Yeah, if it's a newly starting event, if it's you're trying to make your name out there, if you're competing, if you're the number 2 event, yeah, it's a different ballgame. But if we're talking about a event that's been going on for 20 years, that's the leader regionally, it's a different ballgame. Yeah. So let's start with the latter. If you have a big event that has been successfully being organized for a long time, actually you need to not fall into the trap of thinking you know everyone and everyone knows you, because people do that. Yeah. Hey, we are number 1, blah, 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 blah. You think everybody knows your business. Actually, they don't. So you have to keep on building data. Yeah, you have to keep on researching. You have to keep on putting your name out there. And the best way to do that is through content, because actually people, let's say our clients, don't want to hear about the show. They want to hear about their industry. They want to hear about how the show will help their business. Yeah. So instead of talking about your show, talk about your industry. Yeah. Be a thought leader in your industry. Give the podium to your exhibitors. Yeah. Let them talk through your channels. Yeah. Because you are not the thought leader in the industry. If you're just an event organizer. Yeah. So but you are the holder of the podium. Give it to the people that matter. That's what we do with the big events. Smaller events, let's say you want to compete, you need to make sure that you have a very, very targeted digital campaign team, yeah, who are on the ball, yeah, and you have to go really minute, deep down in detail, because it will be very, very hard for the really big players to stop going to the main event and come to you. But you can chip away and continue chipping away at the small players or the new business, new players, or the new sectors, because all big events have more than 5, 6, 10 sectors in them sometimes. Yeah. Let's say you're talking about a construction show, you might have ceramics, you might have wall coverings, you might have paint, you might have floor covering, da, 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 da. Those sectors have different dynamics. Yeah. Look at your event versus the event you're competing with, and try to win at places that you don't interact. Yeah. And then when you're big enough, then start to go head to head. That's what I would recommend at the very brand awareness side of things.
Thank you very much for that, because it all starts at the top of the funnel. It seems for most of the industries the main challenge to have it. But when you are describing it, it really makes me think that it is really tricky that you are not owning the end. There are end brands, and it is kind of, for example, when I'm thinking about Tarsus Group as an umbrella brand. Tarsus Group has got different exhibitions. They've got their brands. That's why while managing the top of the funnel, that, for example, some events might be, for some events, I don't know, maybe paid advertising will work, but for some events, it won't work because it's very regional. For example, when you are thinking about China, all the channels are different. Most of the channels are not operating in China. That's why it's kind of tricky to have these multiple brands in hand. Also, this region-wide difference. I might have a follow-up question here. For you mentioned segments, it totally makes sense for me. It's they're small events, and they're biting the giant ones. And these small events in the digital marketing, what I see, they start creating content and they start building a community. Then they turn up into a events, and it becomes a yearly exhibition kind of stuff. For the small ones, because for the big ones, that I think that we will cover in the last question about the retention. But in the small ones, the new entry, let's say new entry small exhibitions, which channels they can have early results? Is there any channel, or is there any case that you met with, a couple of guys come together, use these channels, and become a success story? Or it is, it differs, or
I mean, just for any marketer out there, you have to just be very wary of your audience when you choose a channel. I have seen very small tech events become competitors, then global leaders in a few years' time, because they really capitalized on Twitter. Because they saw that their audience was big on Twitter. Everybody had a Twitter account. This is a developer conference. So they did data mine on Twitter, and it found the people that had the most share of voice, that were most retweeted. And they localized them by city, and then they went and invited those 20 people into a pub to have a drink up, and that's how they got those people on board.
Wow,
it's a fantastic way of doing. But this will not work for a ceramics event. Because the audience is very, very different. They're not there. So generally for B2B events, it's very obvious, but B2B events are a good place to hunt. Other B2B events. So you have, when you're organizing events, your sales team visiting lots of other B2B events to talk to people who are already exhibiting. Because there's a subtle difference. For a brand, let's say, or a company to exist in an industry does not mean they will exhibit. But because not all brands can exhibit. So you're looking at a subset of the whole industry. So, and those people are already exhibiting, so it makes sense to visit other exhibitions, talk to them.
Great, thank you. I would like to move to the other section of the funnel. This is kind of one of the trickiest that in my previous experience. If it's a B2B company, most of people think that top of the funnel is hard. In most of them, what I see is middle of the funnel is the hardest one, because obviously when you are talking about B2B and you have a sales cycle, and whether you are selling SaaS or enterprise level, you will have it, and you will need to nurture these leads. First of all, again, and channels. Do you recommend for lead nurturing? And also, I would like to hear about your dashboard. When in your executive dashboard, is there some key metrics that you are looking in order like monitor the health of the leads, because it's very tricky. You are having lots of leads, but sometimes it might be not good having that much leads. That's why the channels, the tactics, and also the key metrics are very important at this point.
Yeah, sure. Are we talking here marketing, sales qualified leads, or just pre-sales qualified? Because for us, what happens is when we start to build from the very top, let's say from data build, send them some collateral, they click on some stuff, we give them a mark. After a certain mark, they start to salespeople. So that bit is, I think, very we call it the washing machine. It just turns and turns and turns. So we have pieces of collateral with personas because there are different personas we sell to depending on size of company. In small potential exhibitors, we talk directly to the general manager or the owner. In medium companies, we talk to the business development manager or sales head or somebody like that. In corporate, we talk to the marketing director or some other person in that regard. So these people have different levels and different engagements, and they look at different things. To selling the same product to a general manager, you have to talk about how much money he can make from the exhibition directly, because that's what's on his mind. But talking to the marketing director of a big company who might go for the same product, same exhibition, you talk about brand awareness, share of voice, you talk about their competitors in there, and then you slowly build up to the business side of things. So it's about knowing who you're selling to, depending on their size. So for us, a very key question is company size when we're building lead forms. How many people work for your company? So because we tailor what we do depending on that. If it's a 5,000 people company, okay, the type of collateral we'll send you will be different. If it's a 20 people company, we'll send you something else. So it's about making sure you know who you're talking to. It's obvious, but it's a very important thing in the nurturing phase. And depending on what you're selling, your sales cycle might be long, or it might be short. I don't know. For us, one of the important things is having a good marketing automation platform that talks to our sales, which is Salesforce now. It used to be other stuff. Doesn't matter, to our CRM. So that the salesperson sees what happened. How was I put in front of this client? Why was I put in front of this client? Because they read stuff about they did this. Okay, all right. So they can come up with the story of what they're trying to do. So the salespeople need to be really engaged and switched on about how to talk to hot leads. And in our industry, we've always found that hot leads perform as the best. Warm leads, the worst. Cold leads, better than warm leads. How about that?
Why? Why is that?
The thing is, because for warm leads, you have people who are on the fringe, searching and finding and looking at your website, but not ready to buy sometimes. So when we qualify, and the number, and it's a numbers game, it's big, and because everybody can click on the 3-4 catchy stuff you do, they reach a certain mark, and we think we can call them, but they're not sales ready. But for cold leads, when you're building data of someone who has already exhibited somewhere else, their propensity to buy is sometimes higher than somebody who's Googling your stuff.
Interesting. It's interesting. But I got your point. I got your point. It's like in terms of the consumer decision-making process, maybe in your fields, it is much more, it is easier to convince the ones who didn't start searching something yet. If you can catch them at the right time, you can convince them. But the ones who are already searching and have got lots of alternatives, it might be hard to convince them. But it's interesting because all the time, even I think that warm leads are better than cold leads. But when you look at this, it also makes sense. And also, I really like your answer, because this is what we are also trying to do for the MBT brands as well. That's why having a confirmation expert like you, I really like, because for us, the lead nurturing is directly related to personas and their pain points or motivations, and all the nurturing process, like starting from the first automated after they fill the forms, all the nurturing automated email, even the sales scripts of the sales guys depends on the personas and their needs. And yeah, it's in most of the B2B cases, I can see that according to the size you are talking persona, and also the motivations are changing there. And also what I see is in for all the industries, if you are selling a high ticket size enterprise level, you are having multiple personas within the decision making process. That's why most of the marketing automation tools like HubSpot, they are launching account-based marketing features. You are like, you are tagging one company, and for this company, you are having like 20 contacts, and you are tracking the activity of each contact separately, and also a consolidated report for account, like how you are engaging with this account. Cool. Yeah, for the lead nurturing, having this answer from you, that the persona's importance is very important. Also, you highlighted this marketing automation thing. Yeah, it is unfortunately for the startup world, since marketing automations are like kind of expensive tools, and in most of the workshops that I'm giving, they are saying you are telling very good tactics, but you can do it with Marketer or with HubSpot. But for these companies,
it's about these are big investments, and companies like us can invest, and so we're lucky that way. Let's put it like that, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And I recommend for the start at least like qualifying the leads by giving quantitative data, like making their let's say manual lead scoring, because it will be even better to like, okay, I got from Facebook 15 leads from AdWords, at least gives data according to their how they respond to the sales team, or if they are coming from paid search, that means they are give extra points, these kind of suggestions. But I also say that when you start to grow for a B2B company, when you start to have middle of the funnel problems, like you are having lead but you are not closing, it will be the time to invest in marketing automation tools, because it is the way how it works.
Yeah, no, it's you have to look at the logic behind it. You don't need to go to a flagship product like Marketer or Pardot or whatever. Yeah, they're expensive right now. But we are enterprise level. That's why we have to, because we put them across hundreds of events through our CRM. It's just, we have to. There's no other way of managing it. But if you have one product, if you're a startup, if you get the logic right, you can automate it yourself. But there's a certain time it will come, you won't be able to invest only then.
Okay, we have got 10 more minutes, and this is my last question. But for the attendees, if you would like to ask any questions, please ask it to the Q&A, and I will ask after this question to Baris. Okay, and the last one is the bottom of the funnel, your current customer base. Again, when I was speaking with you in the earlier days that we met about events industry, two things fascinate me. One, the retention rate, and the second, you are taking money upfront. It is like heaven. It's like heaven, because it is just like opposite of the sectors. You have got like money collection problem, but you are in the other side. Okay, first of all, retaining the current customer base and growing them, like with upsell and cross-sell if it's available. What type of tactics or channels do you recommend?
Product quality. If your product isn't good, you cannot retain anyone with the best of marketing in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Every time people talk about marketing, that Apple comes up, right? Yeah, they're the best in marketing. No, they're the best in the product in the world. You have to really know. Yeah, the thing is, if they have a shitty product, and the same marketing they have now, they wouldn't sell, period. Yeah, they have the best product in the world and also are great in marketing. Yeah, so it's about, for us, we looked at retention. Our retention rates at good shows, at very good shows, are at like 80, 85, 90% of clients choose to rebook with us. Yeah, which is really a great place to be. The reason, because we give them a hell of a show. We give them unprecedented access to the buyers they want. They make business at our shows, yeah? So they want more of the same, they sign up for next year. If our shows didn't work for them, they would not rebook with us. So it's just about, I think the biggest driver because for retention, you might look at lots of different things, yeah? For KPIs. You can look at when they book, how long it takes to rebook, but they are not drivers, yeah? They are indicators. The only thing that drives retention is product quality. So for the bottom of our funnel, for our existing clients, we invest into content at our shows, to the speakers at our shows, to the experience of our shows, to the overall look and feel of our shows, to the digital products we add on to our shows, to the value we give to our clients, to the leads we generate, to the visitors that come. Those are our retention drivers, not how well our website looks or do we have an app or not. Yeah. So for everyone, let's say B2B events are different, but I'm sure for everyone out there who might be watching, if you want retention, invest into your product quality and nothing else. The rest will take care of itself.
This is period. Like I cannot add anything on it, but I can feel it. Yeah, I'm just trying to feel or experience exhibitor like process. Yeah, I went to an exhibition. I got like several business cards. I started to exchange emails. I started to some of my potential partners or distributors. Some of you, yeah, it is the real moment of truth because I already experienced the product. And if this product business, then why not rebook for the next year? That's why, yeah, I can.
And as we discussed at the very beginning of our chat,
yeah,
an event is time limited. An event is access limited. So if you don't rebook, someone else will take your spot. Yeah,
exactly.
That's the fear of missing out. Because you cannot. It's not like a software solution. It's not like something that's evergreen that you can choose to turn on and off at times. You're either at the event or you're not. It's that simple.
Exactly.
So that's why if you have a good product, people will want to be at your event.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Boris. It was every time it's lovely to speak with you. It was our first webinar together. I hope we have more to come with new concepts.
I have a feeling that will be the case.
Yeah, okay, because I really enjoyed every time talking with you. Okay, I don't see any questions at this point. If you would like to follow us, you can follow MBT and Tarsus Group channels, me and Baris as well. And in the next episode, we are still searching for the host. Do you have any recommendation, Baris, for which industry should we take? Because I would like to start with events industry, but if you have any recommendation, I would be glad to have.
Yeah, look at the gaming industry.
Gaming industry, yeah, it's especially for the Turkish market after the peak exit. Yes. It is like, yeah, it's good.
Get noted
that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you, Baris.
My pleasure.
Yeah, let's see you in our next concert. God knows who it will be, but I'm sure it will be related with B2B and marketing.
All right, cool. Fantastic.
Okay,
thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye.